Minecraft has added a new mob, and it's the happier, friendly version of that screaming creature we all know from the Nether. But let's be real, the Nether is no place for a happy ghast. So today I'm on a mission to rescue our floaty friends and build the ultimate happy ghast base in my Minecraft world. Since this is a new update, we have to go to parts of the Nether that I've never explored before. So I'm not gonna go through this portal right here. Instead, I'm gonna grab some obsidian and of course some flint and steel, and then I'm just gonna fly to a faraway spot in the overworld. Definitely not because I'm too scared to fly through the Nether. Of course, it started raining, but I found a random village and I'm just gonna make my portal right here. Let's hope the villagers aren't just gonna randomly wander into the Nether. Tee-hee. I also didn't bring gold armor, a shield, or a bow and arrow from Minecraft. Let's see if we can survive this. Yay! I'm here! I need to remember where my portal is, and then I need to find some happy ghast, and I think they're gonna be under these bone things. I'm definitely gonna get lost and never find my portal again. I found the wrong kind of ghast! No! Wait, guys, I see it. No way. Look at this. Also, that's a bastion. Look at this. I almost didn't see it. What was that noise? Is that the ghast making like a sad, dried noise? I'm scared. I think we need to have silk touch. So I'm gonna mine this. I have it. Dried ghast. It's just like a thing I can have in my inventory. I think we definitely need to rescue more than one so it has some friends. So I'm gonna try and see if I can find some more. I just found a bone block thing that says F. F in the comments for all the dried ghast that I'm not gonna find today that are gonna be here forever, suffering. I found another one. Poor little dried ghast. And I found another one! Nice, Skelly. Let's try and maybe find one more. Yes! There's one! We have 4 dried ghast. Wait, there's another one. Oh my gosh. Why are there so many? I just flew around the Nether for 20 minutes and didn't find any. And now I'm finding all of them at once. Before we leave the spooky, scary Nether, I'm just gonna grab as many of those bone blocks as I can. Because I don't have a farm for bone meal, so I constantly run out. So all of these bone blocks are hopefully gonna help with that. I got over 2 stacks of bone blocks, and I also just found my portal again. So let's get out of here. Hello, Walter. Don't go into the Nether. Bye, villagers. We rescued 5 dried ghast, so we can now bring them home. And while I flew home, I discovered something really silly because you can actually craft the dried ghast. You can use ghast tears and soul sand to make them. But I think actually rescuing them was way cuter. Look at those poor little guys. Oops. Wait, you don't have to use silk touch to break them. Imagine I just destroyed the little ghast. Now we just have to turn these dried little creatures into ghastlings. And you do that by just putting them in water. Yay, stay hydrated. But I don't actually want to do it just like in a random pond. I actually want to build them a spa, and there's a creaking behind me. I'm scared. Let's build a spa for these guys, where they can take as much time as they need to get hydrated and chill after a long time suffering in the Nether. And I think I found the perfect spot for that right behind my animal farm. There's this empty area right here, and there's space for 2 buildings, the ghast spa and then my happy ghast base. And I'm just gonna terraform the area a little bit so there's more space for building. And a little bit of terraforming later, and we got this nice area. And I already marked down the spaces where I want to build my happy ghast spa. And there are 2 main resources I'm gonna need for that build. The first one is my favorite wood type, tons of spruce wood. And we also need to gather a bunch of sand. And we have this desert near my base, so I'm just gonna mine as much of it as I can so I don't have to get more sand for a long while. Many sand mining noises later. And I had a little bit too much fun mining sand, so now I have a whole shulker box and a little bit more full of it. And for a little building, we only need 2 or 3 stacks. So we can put those in the furnace and smelt them into glass using lava. And we can put the rest in our storage, but I don't really have any space, so I'm just gonna leave them in the shulker boxes. Basically, all of the chests are full. So if you have any idea on how to organize my storage better, let me know in the comments. And while the glass is melting, I'm gonna craft my spruce wood into a bunch of different materials. And I'm actually so glad I brought all of those bone blocks from the Nether, because I want to turn all of that glass into white stained glass. Oh my gosh, I literally just wanted to start building, and it started raining the exact same time. I hate the rain. But after jumping around in a circle for 10 minutes waiting for the rain to be over, it was finally time to start building. Let's start with the frame of the building, so let's make some pillars using stripped spruce and some planks. And instead of attaching a roof on the side of it, I'm basically gonna turn this into the roof. And I'm gonna use stairs and slabs to connect this together and make some sort of a round, curved barn roof kind of shape. Just that it's not gonna be a barn. It's gonna be a spa. But this house is basically gonna be built like one giant greenhouse, but it's going to be used for something completely different. I built 4 of these identical pillars, and they're not connected yet, so it looks like some weird arches you can just like run through. Whee! Let's also dig out a little square inside of it. There's a hole under here. And let's fill all of this with spruce planks, because now we're gonna fill all of the walls with the white stained glass, and if we didn't put the spruce planks here, we would see the grass underneath, and that wouldn't look very nice. A lot of glass placing later. Now all of the walls are glass, but it's not gonna stop there because the roof is also gonna be glass. So everything is gonna be nice and open because I thought the happy cats might want to see the sun when they're like in here in the spa, because they've never seen it before, because they've just been dried in the nether under some bones, being sad. Even more glass placing later. And now the entire roof is glass too. And I also want to add something fun to the roof to make it a bit more magical, so I want to do one of these swirls that I usually do in buildings. And now we have these really funny swirly bits. But the rest of the building is still looking a bit weird and very glassy. So we're gonna add some spruce elements, especially to separate the glass walls from the glass roof. So I added these really nice arches and also some stairs down below, so it kind of looks like a hobbit hole. A hobbit spa! Did any of you guys ever watch Grian's live series like 2 or 3 years ago when all of them had like this aha thing? Because that's all I can think about when I say spa. I only think spa-ha! Since we can't make windows in a wall that's basically one window, I tried something different and just decorated it with a bunch of spruce stuff. And then we also have the entrance right here, which is still looking like a sad little hole. So let's turn this into a hobbit hole kind of entrance too. Let's add a lantern for a bit of light, and this is my hobbit hole entrance. It kind of looks like an egg. Oh my gosh, I made an egg house. This build is literally an egg greenhouse hobbit hole spa. But I know these poor little dried creatures are gonna love it. And I think we need to decorate the exterior even more because the spa needs to be super welcoming. And right now this is just like a spruce glass box with an egg. And we also need some leaves, and I want to choose the ones that are the most like comforting and cozy. And of course it's the only type of leaf I don't have. And I can find them in the dark oak forest, but of course it's not going to be the dark oak leaves because they're the exact same as the oak leaves. But it's going to be down here in a lush cave. Hi monsters. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Hello? Hello? No? Guys, I don't want to be here. I just need these little bushes. Hi zombie. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Okay, I got a couple bushes. I thought lush caves were supposed to be super cozy and beautiful, and it's just full of creatures. But we got our azaleas, so let's plant those and use the bone meal to grow an azalea tree. Yay! First time I got the leaves in this world. When they added azalea leaves, it was basically the only leaf type I used for everything. But I haven't done that recently, so we need to bring back the azalea leaf spamming. Let's spam those leaves, and especially the flowering ones, all over this house. And then we can plant some flowers and grass. Oh yeah, and spam even more leaves. Look at this house, it's full of leaves. It's so beautiful. And of course I spam leaves on the side too. And so the villagers in Cherrytown have a good view. I also decorated the back. Now this definitely looks like a really relaxing place for these guys. We just need to make the inside relaxing too. For the dried ghast to become ghaslings, they need to be put in water, so we can make a little hydration area. So let's fill all of this with water, and I want the water to be coming out of somewhere, so let's make a giant stony rock indoors. And then we just put water in this stair, and it flows down like a little waterfall. And then we can add some more spa related things like some magical healing crystals on top of the rock. And I also want to decorate the water, so we could add a couple corals. And the best is how the sun can just shine into this room, making this so cool. And we can already try out our little pond area because we can place the dried gas inside of this. But they basically take 20 minutes to get hydrated, so in the meantime we can decorate this part here because I have some more spa related ideas. And then we can make a little bamboo platform here, and we have a little staircase going up, and then we can have some beach chairs kind of thing here. And let's also add a bell here and surround it with trapdoors, so it looks like a big gong. Gong. It's chilling time. I also planted a bunch of bamboo, so it's going to be super lush over there. And we also have these really cool lamps in the ceiling. And now we just have to wait for these guys to become ghaslings. But I don't just want to sit on my chair and do nothing, because we can already get something for the ghaslings. Because the ghaslings still need to grow up into happy ghasts, and we can help them with that by feeding them snowballs. So good that I live next to a snowy biome. I think we just need a non-silk touch shovel, and then we can just mine them. And now I've got tons of snowballs, so if we have any left over later, we can always do a snowball fight with the villagers. I mean nothing. And I think we actually need to be in the area for them to turn into ghaslings, so I cannot run off on any more snowball errands. Instead, I think I'm just gonna work on the terrain in front of the house and make it look a bit better, because right now it's just a mess. And while I was mining dirt, something really magical happened. Oh my gosh, both of them! Yay! Both of them got hydrated. Hello. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Why is this the cutest thing ever in the whole entire world? It's getting dark, I'm scared. But now the clock is ticking because they're gonna turn into happy gas after like, I think 20 minutes again. So we gotta get them out of here before that or they might suffocate in my beautiful spa. And you're gonna get snowballs. I think they follow me when I hold them too. What if we feed them all of them? Eat the snowballs. Dude, that guy's eating all of my snowballs. What? I turned around and now there's this big guy. Hello? I need to put it on a lead or something. Because I think we cannot ride them just yet. We actually need to craft a harness, which you can make using leather, glass, and some wool. So let's choose a light blue wool color. And now we can craft a light blue harness. Do you like that I'm holding the harness? Do you like it? Also, why does it have tear stains? You don't have to cry anymore. You're gonna be happy. And harness. Yes! Come back! No, come back! I can fly too. I'm standing on it. I'm standing on the ghast. Okay, do we sit? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. It has a little glasses. And now we can ride the ghast all around our base. And we can actually do some pretty wild things with this ghast and some boats and a couple of leads. We can actually attach a boat on a lead to the happy ghast. Like this. Look, that's just like holding a boat down there on 4 leads, even though I just attached 1. It looks like a hot air balloon. No, I cannot sit in it. No! But I think other creatures can sit inside of the boat, so we can basically transport any animal we want. I have so many silly ideas for what to do with the happy ghast, so let's fly over to a plains biome. Because with this ghast, we can also transport animals that cannot fit in a boat, like this unsuspecting horse over there. This horse is about to get free flying lessons. Hello, horse. Meet my new ghast. Lead on you, lead on the ghast. And the horse is flying. Look at this horse, how it's just like dangling from the ghast. Wait, I don't know how to get the horse off again. Hello? 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 Horse, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm on the horse. I'm on the horse. Yes. Wait, I'm on the horse. It's so much fun to ride on the things attached to the ghast. I also don't know how to get the horse off, so I can just float there. Awkward. Okay, I looked it up and we have to craft shears to remove the leads. Wait for me, ghast. Yes, you survived. I could fly ride this ghast horse balloon all day long, but we also need to build a happy ghast base where we can park these big guys. Although it is kind of funny to just leave this guy with the horse just like floating midair. And I want to build a giant tower right next to the spa. And for that tower, we're gonna need a whole bunch of spruce wood, so let's chop down all of my big trees. I recently built a cherry blossom village where I challenged myself to not use spruce wood at all. And now I'm almost exclusively using spruce woods for my builds for the ghast. And some pillagers decided to ambush me while I was getting spruce wood, and he gave me a really fun idea. Get in this boat. Now let's take the pillager and put him on the ghast. Bye, pillager! That's what you get for visiting my base. Now every time some annoying creature comes to my base, I can put them in the happy ghast express. And I crafted up all of these spruce blocks because for what we're building, we're gonna need a lot of them. And our second ghastling has also turned into a big ghast, so they can both just float around the area. And I'm gonna build the ghast tower. And this part of the tower was inspired by a build made by my friend Blockdown. He is very swag. And it's basically 4 pillars and then the spruce stairs connecting them together in a crisscross shape. And now we have this giant structure, but it's going to be a lot bigger because we need to add a whole ghast station up there. Basically a place where the happy ghasts can be locked in place so they don't just fly away and disappear. And I can go up there and pick them up and go on adventures, like kidnap some more horses. I mean nothing. So I basically made a big square and then we can have 4 ghast stations on each side. So let's go out with a couple more blocks. There has to be a 5-block space for the ghast to go in here, but it actually has to be a bit tighter than that, so we can add some trapdoors. And when they're closed, they make the space a tiny bit smaller than 5 blocks. And then we also need to make sure they don't escape down the bottom. So I'm just gonna add a couple more trapdoors here too. And I also added this to the top so we can go in and out, and the trapdoors to hold them in place. Now let's see if it works and if we can bring the happy ghast to its new parking space. Let's just ignore that there's a pillager under me trying to murder me. Let's fly into this. Yes. And I think we also need to add a fence gate or something. And when it's closed, it cannot escape. And the ghast is in place. And the pillager is also there. And if you also want to build a ghast parking station, there's some really cool tutorials out there that help me a lot to figure out the dimensions for this. Because those ghasts love to escape. Now all of the ghast parking stations are done. So we can put this cute little guy in there as well. And we can craft another harness. And this time I want to make a red one. I love that you can have harnesses in so many different colors. And I noticed when you get off the ghast, it suddenly stands still, which is going to be really cool for building. And I think those ghasts are actually gonna help me to build the rest of the structure. But before I start building that, I'm gonna put the little dried ghast that I still have into the spa. Yay! And for the rest of the building, I want to use spruce too, but I also want to add another color so we have a little bit of variety. So I flew all the way over to the mangrove swamp, and then we can cut down some of the trees and get that nice red wood. I got a little bit overstacked, so let's get out of here before anything crawls out of the bushes. I'm not scared. And then we can craft this into a bunch of stairs and blocks. And now let's put something pretty on this tower. And I want to try a roof style that I've never built before. So the roof goes outwards by a couple blocks the higher it goes, which was really complicated to pull off, but the happy ghast actually helped me because I had to reach so many high up spaces. It's actually so silly but so much fun to build using the happy ghast, because what if I want to place something up there and don't want to scaffold all the way up here, so I just take the ghast and lantern and another one over here, and while I was building, these little guys have grown up too. Yay! Oops, I shut the door in their face. I'm so sorry. Now they can free roam the area, and I have to make this tower ready for them to move in. I want to make little entrances to all the ghast parking stations, so let's make some little arches. Oh my gosh, I left for 1 minute to get more slabs, and this guy just spawned in here. I don't need a watchmaster. I need to die somewhere. So let's get a big chain coming down from the ceiling, and let's hang a lantern on it, and I think that should do it, right? No more monsters. And I also brought some hanging signs so we can add them to all of the arches. And I wrote down every single direction because I thought it would be a cool idea to use those ghasts for the specific direction they're going. So I can only use the red guy to go east and the blue one to go west. But I also want to give all 5 ghasts that I have some names. So if you have any ideas for those, let me know in the comments. And that reminds me that I also asked you guys to name my 3 cats living in Cherrytown. So we're gonna have Petal, and this one here is Cherry, under the cherry blossom tree. And then we have Molly by the farm. Thank you for all your cute cat name suggestions, and I hope you like them. Then I went back to decorating the ghast tower, building a ladder in the middle so I can always reach my ghasts even without an elytra. And I'm also gonna fill some parts of the ground here with coarse dirt so we can have a little overgrown area down here full of leaves and ferns and grass. But I think the rest of the tower needs some more leaves too, so I think it's time for some more azalea leaf spamming. Azalea leaves for the win. The pillager hates azalea leaves. Ow. And now this is looking a little bit more lush too. And my ghaslings just grew up. So we can make 3 more harnesses. So we have orange, pink, and green. I opened the door. This guy just stands there. Why? Barkley, go away. He's creepy. And now we can put the harnesses on too. This is how the orange one looks. And then we got the pink one flying away. And this guy here is just wandering off too. And they're gonna be the green one. And I parked all 4 ghasts in their little area. So now we have them all sitting there. And I released the blue one so they can just fly around with this guy here. But I also just had another really cool idea, because it would be really cool if I could sit in the boat and the happy ghast could carry me around. Come on, ghast, let me kill the pillager. No, my pig! Free food, I guess. Awkward. Okay, I got a new pig in the boat, and now we can try something super silly because I'm gonna put a saddle on the pig, and then I can get on the pig. It's working! The lead isn't breaking! If I would sit in just the boat, the lead would break. Oh my gosh, I found like a secret hack. And if you're playing on a server with friends, one could steer the ghast, and you could just sit down there and just have the time of your life. And with this ghast free roaming the area, we have to transform it into the perfect happy ghast habitat. So I'm gonna terraform this area to fit a bunch of water streams and ponds. They were so unhappy in the nether because it's a place without water, and it's so hot there that their favorite snack, snowballs, cannot exist there either. And now we have 2 lakes, a small one and a really big one. And we have 2 of these small ponds next to the buildings. And right now it looks like these tiny little ponds are creating these giant lakes, but actually something else is gonna create them. And for that I'm gonna need a bunch of pale wood. And of course it is raining again. But I'm going to create little ghast statues right in front of these ponds. This build is inspired by the dried ghast if it was forever stuck in the nether, with its mouth open, screaming in agony. And the most important thing, the source of all the water coming from its tears, forever crying. Poor little ghast. And because one isn't sad enough, we're gonna add another one over here. Look at those poor little crying ghasts. They're so cute, but also so cursed. And speaking of cursed things, the Wandering Trader is here, and we can prank him. Wandering Trader Express, bringing loud humming noises and horrible trades to your door. Also, these guys spawned in the cow pen. den. That's where you belong. Bye. We spent enough time pranking the Minecraft mobs. Let's decorate these ponds here. I'm gonna add a bunch of coarse dirt to create a nice shore. And then we can spam grass and of course azalea leaves on top. And this lake here is still looking very plain. So I'm gonna go and pick up a bunch of ocean plants like this kelp here. And of course we also need things like sea pickles and some of these corals. And then I'm gonna add these things into this giant lake and create some sort of beautiful underwater life. And I didn't just decorate the inside of the lake, I also decorated the parts around it. I added some bigger rocks, lots of flowers and stones, and even some cute cattails. Now this is looking really pretty, and I thought to make this even more magical, we could have a path going from the little spa all the way down here to the big lake and then down to the small one. Also, did my pig just die in the water? What the heck? Where's the Ghast? Hello? Did the llama kill the pig to take up its space? And I hate that the pig died in the pond of the crying Ghast. Why is this so tragic? And I also just had an idea to not just connect all these builds together, but also to connect the happy Ghast base to the rest of my base. So I started by making a bridge over this water stream, and then I'm gonna have a path going all the way around here. And then we can go past my animal farm, and I connected it to the path here. Even though I have an elytra to fly around my base, I still find it super important to have a path linking everything together, because it's not only super fun to walk along the path and look at all the beautiful builds I made, but it also really connects everything together and creates a magical area. And I haven't decorated this small pond here yet because I want to make this a little hot spring. I mean, Ghasts come from the nether, so maybe they like it nice and warm, but also in the water. And I'm gonna do that by hiding campfires in the water. I cannot place it in the water or it's just gonna be extinguished immediately, so I'm just gonna have to hide it under it. That's so funny, there is fire in the water. That doesn't make any sense at all. Minecraft logic. And I also want to add some more bubbles so we can have the magma blocks and the soul sand to create a little whirlpool bubbly kind of effect. And now we have a nice hot spring. We just have to ignore the constant sounds of campfires crackling. Definitely no campfires here at all. And when you go down here, the path ends so abruptly, so I thought since we still have some spruce wood left over, we could make a little fishing dock. Just a tiny one like this, and then we can walk on it and look down on the magma blocks. And now I'm stuck on the magma blocks. And because I had so much fun building this dock, I built another one on this big lake. And I think another Happy Ghast themed kind of thing would be a little cargo area. Because essentially Happy Ghasts are giant transport creatures. They can carry all of the animals. So I'm gonna add a transport themed build right here next to the tower. And of course it has to rain every time I want to start a build time-lapse. 10 years later. So I built a heavy crane lifting up heavy rocks using chains, and it's actually been so much fun to design a crane in Minecraft. And I made a path going from the tower all the way through here and then down a little stair, and then we're here. And the Wandering Trader is really obsessed with the storage. He's creepy. And also got a little bit carried away and built a second crane and also decorated the area behind the first one. And we got some ore and wood storage back here. And this area is looking really cool already, but one important thing is missing: custom trees. My base area is full of custom birch trees, but since the Ghast area has a completely different block palette, we need completely different trees. More spruce wood. Totally not obsessed. And I turned the shulker box into my tree building box with a bunch of different materials. And of course, just as I want to start building, it's raining. Again, why does it always happen when I want to start building? I'm literally cursed. Last year I would have run away screaming at the thought of building custom trees, but I've been practicing and getting better at building them, and now I love adding big and small ones all around my builds, and they really make such a big difference in this area. We can also dig out a couple blocks around each tree, and then add coarse dirt and a bit of grass, and of course leaf litter everywhere. I like leaf litter. I cannot imagine Minecraft without leaf litter now. They add so much detail under my trees. And speaking of detail, I think I'm gonna add a couple sunflowers around here, especially because they're facing this way, so when we look at the build we can have tons of sunflowers looking back at us. And I also added a bunch of yellow and white flowers around the area, so now everything is beautiful and decorated, and the little baby Ghasts are crying us a river or a lake. And I think our Happy Ghast base turned out amazing. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I'm just gonna ride my pig air balloon for hours around my base. Bye!